What is up, guys? Welcome in. We are doing a tutorial on how to set up Streamlabs OBS or OBS Studio. This is currently my Streamlabs setup. I'm kind of showing it off before I go to the OBS side. They're essentially the exact same thing, but I got asked how to set up multiple scenes with transitions, how to make a more professional looking live stream than just starting into your stream with your gameplay footage, right? So you'll see I have multiple scenes set up. We have our starting scene that you just saw. We have a just chatting screen with display whatever I have running on the stream, whether it's obviously this screen, if it is a whatever game I'm playing is there, Chrome webcam capture, whatever it is. A chat box you'll see up here above my head displays the live chat. A couple tags up here for recent donations, recent stars, star goal, stream boss, all sorts of things, right? Then we have a live screen where it'll be whatever game I'm playing currently. And you saw the be right back and the ending soon screen. So how do we make that, right? So making it in OBS Studio, it's exactly the same thing. I'm using OBS Studio with the OBS Live plugin. So you'll see I have an activity feed and a chat box. If you don't have that, we can go switch to OBS Studio. You'll see literally OBS Studio and OBS Live are the exact same thing. OBS Live just gives you a couple extra plugins. That's really the only difference. It gives you an activity feed over here and a chat box. Without that, this is what your OBS Studio will look like. Regardless, it's the same thing. So when you first start, you'll have a blank screen here, or scene here. I've already took the liberty of naming it my starting soon scene. We're also going to make a chat scene today. We're going to make a live scene. And we'll do a ending scene. All right, so starting soon. We'll start there. First thing you need is a image here on your blank canvas. So we're just going to do a static image. So we'll go browse. And let's pick just some generic. Let's go this. That looks okay. All right, so that's our background image for our starting soon screen. Then we'll add some text. We'll do starting soon. Select the font because we don't want just the generic normal font. We want something a little more stylish. That's not going to work for me. Let's go, I don't know. Press Start K. I do a lot of retro stuff, so let's do some retro style font, shall we? All right. I don't know, something kind of like that. You can obviously position it where you need it, or you can right click and do a transform and center horizontally. This one's not going to work because this particular font adds a space at the end of every letter, whether there is a space or not. A trick to get around that is that I add a space on the front so that it matches. Right click, transform, center horizontally, and there it is. You'll notice that both of these, anytime I highlight anything, it puts a blue outline around it because it's not locked in place. Anytime you click, you can drag these and get them off center. If you do something, let's say you wind up with something like this and you want these to be locked in place. Go back to whichever one, so we know we want the wallpaper and we know we want that stretch to screen, right? We're going to go right click, transform, stretch to screen, and then click this little lock button here. You lock it in place, then you cannot move that element. It's locked. Click to unlock it, and you can move it again. Put it right back in place and lock it, and you're done. Same thing with your text, right? So we're going to center horizontally. That looks good. Lock it in place, and now I can't move anything on this scene until I unlock it. Another option that it gives you is these little eyeballs. Gives you the option to hide an element until you're ready to display it. That's another useful feature that you can use. So we have those, right? Maybe you want to put your logo up there. I'm big about adding my logo to every screen that I make. So we'll go new logo, add it. Oh, that's big. Okay. So let's resize, go transform, go fit to screen. There we go. That'll be a little better. Now let's drop that down there somewhere. Something maybe about like that. I don't know. That looks like okay down there, don't it? We'll put that there. Another thing that I always add to every slide that I make is my sponsor, Gould Gaming. You can add whichever sponsor you currently have for your stream. We'll add Gould's logo. That white gets a little washed out on this one, so let's change that to... is it on my desktop? Oh, where is the... Oh well, that'll work. We'll leave it as that one. Alright, so bare bones, generic starting screen. Maybe you want to add some music. You do that with a media source. So within this list of sources here, you'll notice you have a ton of different options. You have audio input captures, which will be like your microphone, output captures, which will be like your headset, speakers, anything that is coming out of the computer that you want people to hear. Browser sources, which is where you can add any widgets that you build on either Stream Elements or Streamlabs. Color sources, which are just basic generic colors. You can come in here and add, you know, a background color if you so desire. Delete the color source. Display captures, which is what I'm currently using to display my display. You can add, obviously, images. You can add image slideshows. So let's say that you want to add an entire folder of images, which is what I have done for my Patreon subscribers in the past. April update, let's select folder. So you'll see I have pre-made text images that will automatically start playing and showing each of my Patreon subscribers here on the screen. Put it up here where that green shows. You can position that where you want it. Maybe you want it at the top of the screen. Transform, centered. Boom. So they'll sit there and play. Maybe you want something like that to show off any supporters that you have. If you want to add music, you add a media source. We'll add some music. I have some that I have downloaded from a individual who gave me permission to use them. There's his album cover, Raku Huss. You can find him on Bandcamp. He is an awesome chiptune artist. But we don't necessarily want his album cover showing here on the screen, right? Let's drop that behind the wallpaper. And then I can give him a shout out like I just did, or you can do it in the description of the video. You can make a credit screen. You can add a little text line here. We'd add a text line that says music sponsor. Music provided by, so you can type Rocco Huss, and this is Wiley's Castle. Pretty sure that's supposed to be an E in there too. Maybe not. Maybe it's just that's way too big though, so let's drop that down. And we'll just kind of throw it over. Something like that. That looks okay. Right. So that's our starting soon screen. There's a ton of other options you have in here. You have a multitude of filters, right? So you can come in here and we can do a color correction on this because I do everything in a red color. So we can hue shift this and find a more of a red instead of that green. It's a little bit better, kind of changes up the look of it a little bit. You can also come in here and add a video over top. This is something else that I've done in the past. We'll do a intro video. Let's do that's all. Add where are you at? Outro video maybe? Nope. This is what I'm looking for. So we'll add this, right? But we want that to cover up my entire screen. So let's add a little transparency to it. So we can add a Luma key. Gives you one option. So you can kind of change some of the smoothness in places on it. Kind of makes it go all the way away. But maybe we don't want the Luma key. Maybe the Luma key isn't the right one. So let's add a color correction. Hey, we can make it a little more opaque. There, now we got some stuff, you know, kind of like a little fire looking going up. Little light behind our Patreon supporters. But you can still see my background image and all my text. Maybe we want the text and everything to pop up over top of it. So we throw that just right above the wallpaper. Now all the text and everything is above that. And the video's behind. But our video just ended. So, oh no. Because we didn't loop it. We have to hit the loop button. And now you'll notice that it is looping indefinitely in the background. Maybe we don't want it more something like this. There we go. Let's do something like that. I like the look of that. Now it's zoomed in. Okay. All right. So there's our starting soon screen. So now we'll make a chat screen. The first thing you're going to add again is your background. So we'll go image. Let's just do the same wallpaper. And you'll notice it keeps the same color, right? So cool, it keeps the same image. As long as you use the same one, it will make it look exactly the same as it is everywhere else. So we'll add that. Let's add a frame. So I pre-built some months ago frames. And let's go webcam, chat, and frame. All right, so we have a set of frames here that I made myself in Microsoft Paint, actually, and then added transparency to it. So you can come in here and add your webcam. Do the frame. Make it kind of look like you're sitting in the frame. Mine's a little off because I'm adding it from Streamlabs to OBS because I don't have two webcams. Something kind of like that. If you were going to add this webcam to your OBS Studio, you would hit the plus button over here on OBS, add a video capture device, call it a webcam because that's what you're adding. You'll see mine's an HD Pro D920, only one I have. You'll add it. You'll see this little red dot up here. That's my webcam because I don't currently have it available since I'm using it in Streamlabs instead of OBS. But you would drag that exactly where I dragged this one. For now, we're going to put this back where I had it. Something that looks okay. So, put your webcam there. You're going to want to add, maybe you want to add a chat box over here. Maybe you don't want to display your gameplay footage here. Maybe you want to add a chat box. Well, that's through a browser source. So one way that you can get a chat box widget is to create a Streamlabs site as mine loads in. So we're going to add a browser source called a chat box. And we're going to go ahead and fill it into this. So we don't want to size that down because it'll cut stuff off. We're going to go properties and we want to make it a little less wide. Let's try 700. It needs to be a little wider than 700, maybe 720 or 730. Try 7. That's fairly close enough for now. 600, let's look more like 750. Hey, it's like I've done that once or twice. Drop that back in behind the frame. So now you'll see that the frame sits above. If we make that a little bigger. Oh, it helps you drop it actually behind the frame. You'll see now that the frame actually sits on top of that, right? We'll size that down a little. Size that up a little. And something about like that. That's good enough. All right, so now getting that from to actually display our chat box. Over on the Streamlabs site, you can make your own account, link it to your Facebook, your Twitch, your YouTube, whatever it is that you stream off of. I stream on Facebook at Gaming with Grumpy. So you'll come in here and you will add, go to my overlays. You'll notice I have a ton of overlays already pre-built. You'll probably be blank if you've never made one. So create a blank overlay. And Streamlabs appears to be struggling this morning. Awesome. We want 1080p because that's what we're doing. We're going to call this a chat box. We'll call it tutorial because I already have one. We're going to add a widget. We're looking for a stream tool. Your stream's chat. Boom, chat box. All right, well, we know that my chat box for this is 720 by 750. So we'll come back over here and under position, size, and style, 720, 750. We're going to hit save. There's a ton of options in here that you can have. You can change what theme you want. If you want checkerboard, if you want a white chat box instead of a dark chat box, you can do custom colors. I'm going to leave mine as a dark chat. Typically what I use. You can have the messages fade after a certain point if you don't want them to display permanently. I like having them display permanently. You can show avatars if you want. You can have messages be delayed a little. Personally, I would not have messages delayed. I'd have them appear instantly. You can have enter usernames to ignore if there is a particular person that you don't want. If you say you don't want your chat to appear on the stream box, the chat box, if you are going to be manually chatting. So I could add Gaming with Grumpy in there if I wanted to. And now it will ignore my chat. If I was to type something in my own chat, it will not show it on the feed on there. You can change text settings. You can come in here. You can pick your own fonts. I use, like I said, Luckiest Guy a lot. You can do custom sizes if you would like. Make custom line heights. You can center it however you want. Make it bold. Change the text stroke. You can add text shadows if you'd like. If you want it to have a drop shadow behind it. But anyway, all you do once you get everything set up, you'll click save over here, and then you'll click this copy overlay URL. It will instantly copy it to your clipboard. Come back to your streaming software of your choice. Open up the properties on your chat box. Change the URL. Hit OK, and now, boom! There is my chat box. Put it in place. We can stretch this a little bit to make it fit the whole thing. trim it down a little. And there you go. There is the chat box in place. We'll lock it in place. Under normal circumstances, we would have our webcam over here just like so. And this is kind of what our chat screen would look like to start with. Like I said, I like to add my logo to everything that I do. So we'll add the logo from earlier. And I always make it way too big because of the way that logo is saved. But we can drop it down. Something like that. Lock it in place. Add my sponsor's logo. Want that up there like so. We can add my Patreon supporters earlier. Like so. And now we're starting to sort of get an idea of what this intermission screen is going to look like, right? What our chat screen is going to look like. You can also come in here and you'll notice that on my OBS, I don't have any audio devices automatically there. So that is under audio, under your settings. I have everything disabled. Yours will probably automatically have desktop audio enabled and mic enabled. I like having everything disabled originally. That way I can manually tell each scene what audio I want to be on it, and I don't have to worry about muting and unmuting stuff as I go. It kind of removes that step. So to add your mic, you're going to go audio input capture. We're going to add microphone if you need to add your mic. If you don't, you'll automatically have it. So we'll add our mic. Boom, microphone's added over there. It's automatically working on Streamlabs. It's not going to work on OBS at the same time. It won't work in two programs. But there you go. There's your mic. You need music on this scene, right? So we're going to go back and we're going to add media source to the music from earlier. Drop it in the background, behind everything. Music's playing, and you'll see that you can adjust all of your sliders, right? Sort of the rule of thumb that I go by is any background music, video gameplay, music, anything like that, anything other than my voice, I keep in the green. And my microphone, if I can, I might be able to, hey, mic's working over there now too. So I put my mic in the yellow. That's kind of the rule of thumb. Mic in the yellow, almost in the red, and background music in the green. And that's sort of a good rule of thumb for audio level. You will have to adjust some based on gameplay or background music. You can let your chat tell you what if they need you to be louder or quieter, if they need the background music a little louder or quieter, whatever the case may be. But there's your chat screen. I mean, that's basically it. If you want the same theme, we can come in here and we can add that video from earlier. Let's drop it all the way behind everything, but above the wallpaper. So kind of in that regard there. And now we sort of had that same theme from earlier, right? That same look from our starting soon screen to our chat screen. All right, so let's move my camera back over here. Back in place, kind of where I had it. All right, so now a live screen. This is probably the most simple screen to make. You probably already have this if you've been making content at all so far. The first thing you're going to need is your gameplay footage, because you're going to want it to be full screen essentially, unless you're playing a retro style game that you want to keep in the true aspect ratio. So we're going to add let me get a game running. So let's get Shy Guy Kaizo Dream running. That's what I've been playing. So we're going to let Shy Guy run here in the background for a moment. I'm going to throw it on a different screen so that we can see OBS. Throw it over here. That'll work. So first thing you're going to want to add is a way of capturing that gameplay, right? I use window captures a lot for gameplay because most everything that I run is in a window. You'll see it automatically found Shy Guy when I've done window capture. for anything that's not running full screen. Like if let me delete this source, right? So we're gonna move it Super NES for a second. Let's say that you try to use game capture, right? You'll notice that it automatically defaults to a full screen application. Well, this isn't running full screen. So we can do a specific window. We can pick Super NES and it found it actually. I didn't think it would find it. So you can use a game capture that if you want, make it do a specific window or a full screen application, whatever the case may be. I prefer window captures myself instead of a specific game capture, but tomato. So we'll resize this. Let's do a fit to screen. The transform fit to screen. All right, so there's our gameplay, right? So now you want your webcam, same thing from earlier. We'll add a video capture device. We'll add our webcam. Obviously mine's not going to show, so we'll drag this camera over there. You can resize it however you need it. Kind of put yourself in place. I don't know, something kind of similar to that. Makes it look like I'm on OBS now. We got to add our mic from earlier. All right, there's our mic. You'll notice we don't have output though, even though this game is running and there's desktop audio to it. If I kill background music, you guys will be able to hear the actual gameplay here. See? So what you're going to need to do is come in here and add a audio output capture. We're going to do desktop sounds. This is running off of the speakers off my microphone. And now you'll see that we have desktop sounds here running. We'll put that kind of down into the greenish, somewhere kind of like so. And you could literally run the game just like this, right? You got your gameplay, you got your mic, you got sounds, you got your camera on there. You're good to go if you really want to. Again, I like adding logos to everything, so we'll add my logo. Resize this monster size logo. Ooh, why did we flip horizontal? We don't want that. So let's go flip horizontal where we're the right size. Awesome, there's my logo. Lock it in place as always. We'll add my sponsor's logo. Let's put it up here. Kind of something like that. That'll work for now. That's really all that you absolutely have to add. You can add other overlays. So I have a pre-built Super Nintendo overlay. That should be in this folder. Super Mario World hacks. Boom. Alright, so we'll move that down under just right above the gameplay. So the gameplay's behind it. Webcam and everything else is right there above it. Now you can see my sponsor's logo up here, my logo, my webcam, gameplay in the background, and so the game sits here and runs. Live screen done. That's really all there is to it. Live screens are very simple to make. The last thing we need to make is an ending scene. So, move the camera back over here because we don't need a camera on the ending scene. Same thing. Let's do an image. We'll make the wallpaper we've been using. We'll add the media source for that video that we made. Alright, so now we need some text that says ending soon. Stream ending. We use press start case, so we're going to do the same thing here. Kind of keep the same theme going. Oh, I forgot to add the space at the front. So we'll do right click transform. We'll center horizontally. That looks good. We'll add audio output capture for the desktop sounds, or if you don't want desktop sounds, if you want to do our music from earlier, we'll add our music source, drop it back to the background, add the logo, go fit the screen just because I don't want to drag this down. Lock it in place. Add the gold logo for the sponsor that you currently have. We can add another text line that says, "Thanks for watching." Again, keeping with the theme, we'll do press Start K. Make it smaller. We'll add the space at the front. Get the spacing right. Drag it down. Transform. Center horizontally. Lock in place. And there's your stream ending scene. Now, if we were to stream off this, we'd have our starting soon screen ready to go. It runs. We've got music running in the background. Have this run however long you want it to go. There's no real set time limit. You can wait a few seconds just to kind of have a little bit of a splash pad before you go. You can wait minutes. Some people wait 5 minutes. I've seen some people wait 10 or 15. Some people do 2 minutes. I typically run mine just long enough for me to get properly set up and ready to go. And then we'll go into the chat screen, which would have our webcam over here. Under normal situations, sit here, talk, welcome everybody to the stream, get warmed up, do your shout outs, plug your sponsor, plug your Patreon, plug your website, your merch, whatever else you need to plug. Go to our live screen. Webcam would be down here, kind of like this. Sitting here playing the game, ready to go, have fun, talk to people. Oh, stream's over. All right, peace out, guys. See you later. Ending scene. And you're out. Done. One other helpful tip that I would give you is make sure your webcam, if you are using multiple monitors, if you're not playing on the monitor that you're looking at the camera like this, say that you're looking at your other monitor, make sure that you're looking at the gameplay on the screen. It's always been a pet peeve of mine to see people sit like this, and it looks like you're looking with your back to the gameplay the entire time. One trick to fix that, if for some reason with your setup or your the way you have your overlay set on screen, you can't move your webcam to the other side, like dragging it over here like this, is to come in here and do over here, as you can see. So one thing that you can do, so we're doing it like on this here, like looks like I got my back to what I'm actually looking at. Come onto your webcam, right click, go to transform, wherever transforms at, and you're gonna flip horizontal. Now it looks like I'm looking at what I'm looking at actually on screen, what I'm showing you guys. We come back over here to our OBS screen. Now it looks like I'm looking at my gameplay again. I'll put my camera where it needs to be. Looks like I'm looking at my gameplay again from where I'm currently sitting. Just one little tip that sort of makes a difference out there. The only other thing that we can show currently are transitions, right? So let me drag my scene transitions out, pop them in right here. All right, so scene transitions. You'll see that currently we have a fade, right? For all of our scene transitions. You have a fade and you have a cut. The cut is a hard transition, instant. Fade is obviously a more gradual. You can also add your own, and you'll see you have swipes. So if we add a swipe in here, you'll see it swipes left to right, kind of like old school PowerPoints. You can also add a fade to color. So let's say you want to fade to color, and we're going to fade to red. Doesn't really have much red there. It fades kind of too fast, but that's the idea. You can also do a Luma wipe. Luma wipes have a ton of different options here. So we can do, let's do a square. See what a square is. Now you'll see it kind of makes a square from the center of the screen. Those are all options. You can also add stinger transitions. Stinger transitions are custom video files. So I have a few that I have saved on my computer over the course. Let's do this tech game. So say you know what video file you want to use. You can make your own. You can find some. There are royalty-free versions on YouTube, on other sites. You can go to Nerd or Die. You can go to VSI. There's a ton of free resources out there. But you'll see it now has a gate that opens and closes to show it. But you'll see that it's showing the scene that I transitioned to in the background before my gate actually opens and closes. So to get around that, we need to edit these properties. So that is done in the transition point. So we need to lengthen the transition point. So let's try like 1,000 milliseconds. So now, when I click to go to another scene, so let's say that let's say that we're on the chat screen talking and we're ready to go to the live screen. When you click it, the chat screen's staying in the background, and then it opens and we're on the live screen. Stinger transitions are really cool. They add a nice touch to your video, and they're pretty easy to set up. You can play in here with obviously the transition point. I got really lucky and it worked the first time. You can also change it to frames if you'd rather do frames. I prefer leaving it in milliseconds. You can obviously turn monitor off if you don't want to hear it. You can turn monitor only if you want you to hear it but don't want the stream to hear it, or you can do monitor and output and let everybody hear it, yourself and the stream. The audio fade in style, you can cross fade or have it fade out to the transition point and then fade in with the new audio if you have different audio sources on each scene. You can also preview the transition here before you actually hit save to see what it actually looks like. So let's say we're on 500 milliseconds instead. You'll see that 500 was too short. You'll see it changes before the gate all the way shut. So we can go 750, preview. Oh, that was closer, but quite not yet. Back to 1,000, because we know 1,000 works. Preview the transition, and boom. Ready to go, done. That's all there is to it, guys. Real simple, real easy. That's a bare bones starting soon, chat, live, and ending scene. You can do the same thing with Be Right Backs. Whatever you need. You can make multiple live scenes. Say that you know that you have you do a retro night one night where you play a Super Nintendo game, and then you do a modern night one night where you're playing Call of Duty. You can have multiple scenes set up so that you don't have to constantly be changing your live scene. You can have a retro scene and a modern scene, Call of Duty scene. If you have, let's say you have 7 different games, you play a different game of the night, a different game every night of the week. You can literally have 7 or 8 different live screens for each specific night so that you don't have to constantly be changing your live scene. That's pretty much it for how to get going on this on the Stream Elements website. We go back, assuming that it ever loads. There are a ton of different overlay options on Stream Elements. You can add alert boxes, you can add chat boxes, stream bosses, star goals. You'll see I've got stream bosses. I've got all sorts of stuff, whether I wanted to color correct it or not color correct it. You can also build your entire overlay on Stream Elements and then add it as a browser source. So let's say that I wanted to do the starting soon version here, right? We can come in here and we can grab this URL, go back to OBS, make a new scene, add a browser source, drop our link, 1920 by 1080, make the right size, and boom, there's my entire overlay from Stream Elements that I built a long time ago. That's simple, really quick, really straightforward, easy. It's building on Stream Elements is very, very similar. It's just a little bit different UI, but that's pretty much it, guys. Got any questions, let me know. I'll leave the link to my Facebook page in the description, my Patreon, my website, gamingwithgrumpy.live, where you can make direct donations and find all my other stuff. I'll leave a direct link to my merchandise at Gold Gaming. I stream most nights of the week, starting at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook Gaming. Hope to see you guys there. Let me know in the comment section what else you'd like to see, and I'll check you guys next time. Thanks.